All right, good morning, good afternoon. Welcome everybody. This is Omer with iVision, and thank you for taking the time to hop on this call today. There's a lot of information to cover, so I'm going to try to get through everything without taking up too much of everybody's time. Welcome to new licensees that are jumping on this webinar for the first time. Thank you to those that have been with us for a while that are on this call. I think this will be a really interesting call because we're going to be covering a lot of topics here. And for the purposes of this webinar, we've muted everybody for this presentation, so just to cut back on background noise and things of that nature that have disrupted calls in the past. So if you have any questions, have any issues, please use the chat bubble in Join Me at the top of your screen to communicate. I'll try to answer questions kind of as we go through the discussion the best I can. And then we can save some for the end of the call as well. All right, so let's get going. So topics for today's call. We're going to talk about AT&T and Verizon Wireless, discuss their short code policy and long code update. We are going to show you a preview of the new Kiosk Slideshow that we've been working on, and I know my engineers always cringe when I do this, but I'm excited to share with you the progress and where we're at, and talk about some of the things that we still have to get in line before we can launch it. We're going to cover some new features that have been recently launched for the Kiosk Check-in Manager. We call it the KCM, and the coupon widget contact profile page. And then we'll go into kind of an in-depth review of the mobile wallet, and then we'll wrap it up with some questions and answers at the end. All right, have you seen this guy? I get a little anxious every time I get this guy's emails because it always leads to a flurry of emails from our licensees concerned that there's going to be big changes coming that are going to impact their business. And for me, don't get sucked into this clickbait personally, because it's all designed to get you to click on the links and build this guy's profile and subscription base on YouTube and LinkedIn, etc. His name is Derek. He's with a company called Tatango, and while he does provide a lot of useful information on the industry, it creates a lot of confusion, creates a lot of chaos, and is really starting to annoy the carriers and other industry insiders. So don't get sucked into this hype, okay, please. We will go through the AT&T policy so you can understand better kind of what's on the horizon. So I thought I would share that slide because I know a lot of people are getting this guy's emails and his blog posts. So let's talk a little bit about AT&T and the Verizon timeline and update. So what happened was back in October of last year, AT&T announces the rollout of a new 10 DLC policy and an end to shared shortcode support, and they provided very little details when they made this announcement. So as a refresher, what is 10 DLC? 10 DLC stands for 10-digit long codes, and essentially the carriers were going to legitimize 10-digit long codes in an effort to cut down on spam on their networks. In December of last year, Verizon announced a very similar future support for 10 DLC service, but they did not mention shared shortcodes, and they did not provide any more details on this policy. And remember, this means that tariffs will now be assessed on long codes because they will be considered legitimate messaging solutions. So that's kind of what led to last year, the end of last year. And what happened was a PR nightmare, public backlash. Popular app that's popular with educational institutions, schools, things like that, called Remind.com, uses long codes to deliver messaging to students and parents and things like that, and teachers. And they essentially made a big stink about the fact that having to pay tariffs now on their long codes would essentially prevent them from doing their messaging and continuing the free service that the app provides to schools. And although we've been paying tariffs on short codes now for a few years, on long codes it was a new thing, and so this led to a lot of public backlash for Verizon. I'm sure you saw it on the news, but I remember seeing it on the nightly news, and it became a pretty big stink. So where are we now? Well, Fearing additional negative PR, AT&T put the brakes on their rollout. They put the brakes on it, and we actually have been able to verify all this with our upstream partners. So following Derek's Tatango's email out to people, we got on a call with our upstream provider. We said, listen, we just need to make sure we're on the same page and we understand the timeline. And they kind of brought us up to speed on some of the changes that have happened here since the beginning of the year. So AT&T put the brakes on their rollout. Verizon delayed their rollout from 4/1 to a future date to be determined, and they will still introduce this new policy, I think sometime towards the end of this year, which is what I had initially kind of indicated on last year's call. And this transition period will last a few months. So this rollout and transition is not going to happen overnight. It's going to take a few months to transition everybody to this new long code solution. Now, the bottom line is, listen, don't worry. Our team is going to let you know when there are next steps to take. We're in contact with our upstream partners to ensure this smooth transition. So please, 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 if you get Derek's emails or blog posts, just take a quick, deep breath in and out and just realize that it's not the end of the world. And we will have as much, if not more, information available to you. So do not hesitate to reach out to us directly. All right. Now that we're past that, let's talk about some new features that we recently launched. There's a new web form feature which gives you the ability to take a web form and tie it to the Kiosk check-in manager and the contact profile that exists on the widget. And we have been spearheading, Todd Trinan, who's one of our licensees, has been kind of spearheading this project. We're really excited to show you some of the stuff that's been added to the system as a result that everybody can now leverage. And I'm going to cover the steps here, and then I'll show you how it all looks. So first, you design your web form, which is in the contact section. Then you can link it to your coupon widget profile. And then you can also link it to your Kiosk check-in manager. So what that looks like, I'll show that to you here now. And Todd's been gracious enough to approve me showcasing his work. So he set up a web form for one of his clients, and this web form has a pretty comprehensive profile of interests here. So you can fill out the form, you can enter your gender, your date of birth, etc., and then you can choose your interests and add any special notes. Okay, and this builds a profile in the contact section of all the people that are interested in different types of activities or alerts, and they can then segment their alerts based on the interest level, interest type. So from here, once he's created this form, he can then go to his mobile tools and coupons. And in the widget, under the My Coupons page, you now have the ability to use the web form field mapping for your forms. So it'll load your forms, and you can select the form that you want it to link here. And when you hit the rewards button here, and you hit the profile tab, you'll see that the form that gets displayed here is essentially the same as the form that he's designed. So now the customer can actually set his or her own preferences and basically build out their profile using this widget, which I think is very, very powerful. So a lot of more comprehensive offering here instead of just kind of a hard-coded form. And then the other side of this is the check-in manager. So for those of you that are using the check-in manager as part of your kiosk offering, you'll see that the contact details, and I'm sorry, let me take a step back. When you want to link it to the check-in manager first, which you do here, so you hit the check-in manager button, and then you can do the same thing here, right? Web form field mapping, you select your form, and you hit update. And then when you launch the check-in manager, you'll see that the form is essentially the same elements that we had in the coupon profile and also the form wizard. So it basically links the three pieces together. So a business that is interested in tracking additional information per contact can do so very seamlessly through the check-in manager and also through the coupon profile page. So kudos to Todd for putting together a really nice kind of example of what he was looking to create. And he had a very specific need for one of his clients, and so we built this tool here, and I think this will benefit everybody. So obviously Todd is very vocal and helpful to other licensees, and if anybody wants to reach out to him directly, I'm sure he would be receptive to that in terms of answering questions and things like that. All right. Next, I'm sorry here, but I jumped out of my presentation, so there it is. Oh, Kiosk Slideshow. All right. So we've been working hard on the Kiosk Slideshow, as you all know, for quite a few months now, and we've made some substantial progress with it that I'd like to share with everybody. And so it's not ready for launch yet, but I'll tell you kind of where we're at, and you can see it for yourself. So we've been working on a new slideshow tool, and this slideshow tool is much more robust than what we currently have in place, obviously. So when you add your slides, you can reposition them. You can drag them around and change the order in which the slides display. You can also, as you can see, upload video now. And so there's a few things going on here, so I'll kind of share with you how it's designed and then talk about what's still outstanding and on our plate of things to do before we can launch this thing. So you set your slide status and the duration that you want it to display. You can set it to be always on, or you can set it to very specific days or date ranges or days of the week. So these kind of go hand in hand. And then you can set your slide background, image, color, or video, and there's actually a content library here where you can select from multiple pieces of video here, or upload your own, and there'll be a stock library here of graphics as well. So that's all built in. And then there's thirds. There's a top section, a middle section, and a bottom section, and you can come in here and you can edit these sections by adding media, and you can change the alignment of that media very easily. Everything happens in real time. You can see here you can actually adjust things and it changes in real time. You can also customize the background color of this section, and then there will be a text element where you can add text right in here embedded on this. What's nice about this too is that, let's say I wanted this bottom section to appear only on St. Patrick's Day, there's a start and a stop for the actual third. So I can say, okay, I want this bottom section only to appear on March 17th, and then I want it to go away at the end of the day. And so it'll show up, and then it'll go away automatically, and you can set all those time parameters here. So each section has its own start and end display option, as does the slide as a whole. And so, and you can change the slide width, the width of the slideshow feature, and upload your own content. So this is obviously, as you can see, much more fleshed out than what we currently have in place. So we're really excited to get this thing going for you, and we're really, really close to getting this thing launched. So just a couple notes on the items that are still outstanding. So number one, we have to now add some type of template management capability to this. So you've created your template for your slideshow. Now you're going to be able to apply that template to existing kiosks. And that's going to happen one of two ways. One way would be up here, where you're going to hit a button and you're going to apply it to your different kiosks. And for people like Todd, for example, he might have 50 kiosks in one account. It'll allow him to seamlessly apply it to all those kiosks in one shot. And the other direction will be from the actual kiosk wizard. When you're editing your kiosk, you're going to come in here and be able to apply the template here from the layout. section here. So those will be kind of the two areas where you can apply those templates to the kiosk. So the template management is kind of the final piece of the puzzle, along with the embedded text on the slideshow pieces. The other elements that we are working on are more kiosk facing, and specifically things like this, where when you have a split screen, and that was not a good example of a split screen, one that's programmed here, but let's take a look. So this doesn't have anything linked to it, but the specific example here of the split screen, if I hit Join Mobile Club and I type in my phone number, all the text is really kind of smushed into this space here, and so we are going to allow you to have that text kind of overtake the entire screen to kind of free up some of that real estate and make that text a lot larger instead of just kind of smush it into the split screen space here. So those are some of the additional features that we want to kind of modify on the existing kiosk display currently. And then also when you are capturing information and you're capturing maybe it's 3 different pieces of information, instead of displaying everything, instead of just displaying everything on one screen, to actually have it advance from one field to the next. So when you type in your mobile number, then you hit next, and then it goes to the next field and the next field, instead of taking up all this real estate here, which I know has been a request. The question here real quick is, when you expand the text area, will it superimpose on top of the slideshow? And yes, when you expand the text area, when you expand the width of this area here, if you shrink it or make it wider, this whole section rides with it. So it extends it out, and then you can change the alignment. So you can say, okay, I want to have the text center align or right align or middle or bottom, and do all that. And as far as the question here, ability to have 3 fields on the main page new, or has that always been available? The data capture has always been available on the kiosk. I think that's what you might be referring to, the ability to capture up to 3 pieces of information. That's always been there. And additional text formatting capabilities, I'm not sure what you mean additional beyond alignment, vertical, horizontal, font color, but there will be some type of size component, bold, underline are good suggestions, and probably things that we can add pretty easily to the functionality here. So obviously we have a lot of feedback to kind of take back to our engineers as we build this out, and so any feedback is welcome on this. This is only showing for me, and so this is not something you can see currently, but as we get closer to launching it, I'll be sure to communicate with everybody and let you know when it's getting ready to launch. Just a couple other questions here. Will the new video sections be responsive? The kiosk by nature is responsive, so it adapts to the screen size that you're loading it on. So whatever screen size you're loading it on, the screen size will adapt. The slideshow will adapt to that screen size. I'm not sure about alternating different portions and lines of text. You can definitely differentiate between these sections, but I'm not sure you're going to have the ability of having 3 rows of text here and having each row have different parameters, size and boldness and things like that. And then last question here before I continue on to the wallet. Has there been any movement on making web forms responsive? No movement on that yet, just because we've been so eyeball deep and everything else, but definitely on our list of things to accomplish at some point in the near future, hopefully, but no timeline for that. All right, so assuming I've given kind of a good highlight or preview of this slideshow and the pending functionality that is kind of holding us back. So I think how we're going to approach this too is we're going to do it in 2 phases. Phase 1 will be the slideshow, and phase 2 will be all the kiosk elements, like the data capture being progressive, and the text overlaying on top of the entire screen versus just in the split screen area. That'll be kind of the phase 2. Rather than holding this whole tool up, I think a lot of people are ready for this tool. They're ready to use it, and they've been waiting. So we'll get this launched first, and then we'll add the phase 2 components after. All right. And then lastly, mobile wallet. So let's talk a little bit about the mobile wallet. What I mean by progressive is that it progresses from one data capture element to the next. So, for example, you would go from first name or mobile number to first name to email address, instead of having all 3 fields listed on the screen at one time. All right, let's talk about the mobile wallet, and in order to do that, I'm going to switch gears and jump into one of our LA Tech Savings accounts, M. Frederick, which is a retail boutique, and we're going to talk a little bit about how you use the mobile wallet. What are the benefits, and what are some of the pitfalls to avoid? And hopefully I can shed some light, because the wallet is a fairly new technology, and the carriers are really kind of pushing consumers to adopt this new tool. So they're doing all the legwork for us, which is great, and we want to be able to leverage that, and there's some very powerful capabilities with the wallet. But let's understand first what it does and how our system uses it. So I'm going to post we're going to post this presentation afterwards in the reseller portal, and we'll also send it out in an email and put it in the Google Drive as well. And there's 2 links here. One is to Vibes, which is our aggregator. They're our upstream partner. They have a mobile wallet solution they charge thousands of dollars a month for, and they have some great documentation on their website, so we'll provide you the link for that. And then Urban Airship, which is like a digital agency, they also do a lot of stuff with the mobile wallet, and so we've linked to their blog here where you can get some additional content to some companies that are actually spearheading this technology with brands, and they deal primarily with larger brands, well-known name brands, and so you can really get some good insight into what they are doing and how they are doing it. But the wallet is designed to be kind of a virtual payment technology. So you take your credit cards and you can get rid of your physical card by making them virtual and putting them into the wallet. And that's the primary use for it. But it's not only used for that. The wallet can also be used for coupons and for loyalty and for boarding passes and all kinds of other stuff that businesses are doing with the wallet. So we don't do any of the payment stuff, and we also don't use the wallet for any of the loyalty stuff. The wallet actually has a built-in loyalty component that tracks spending and things like that. So if you've ever dined at California Pizza Kitchen, you'll know that their loyalty rewards program actually uses the wallet. So I walk in there and I go into my Android Pay and I give them my ID number, and they track all the spending through that tool. So we don't use that component of it either, because we don't want to create too much conflict between our existing built-in loyalty system and then this third-party wallet solution. So for now, we are not doing anything with that component. What we are doing is giving people the ability to deliver a coupon to somebody's phone through a link, and then take that and save it into their wallet. Okay, now by doing that, it gives the brand and the business significantly more control over that interaction, because once somebody has saved the coupon into their mobile wallet, we can now target them based on their geographic location. So we get some geofencing capabilities that, as you know, they don't exist with text messaging. Like if I send you a text message I don't know where you are. I know your area code, but that is not a really good indication of where you are. It's not accurate. So by being on somebody's phone, once they've saved a coupon into their wallet, we now are kind of on the app, essentially. And the app does know where you are. So we can target somebody based on their location. So let's just kind of dive in to see how M. Frederick is planning to use the wallet. And I say planning is because they're in the beginning phases of kind of rolling this out, as are many of our other clients and some of our reseller clients as well. This is really, really new technology. So Vibes and Urban Airship are going to be really good sources of information for you, but it's really up for your interpretation of how you want to roll this out. So there's really no set specific way of doing it. You just want to be aware of what it does and what it can and cannot do, and then you're going to work within that to determine how best to roll it out. So with M. Frederick, what we decided to do is, instead of just pushing out a coupon and saying, here, save this coupon to your wallet, we wanted to create a special rewards club, an extra special rewards club. So they might be part of the loyalty program. They show up to the kiosk, they type in their phone number, they get their loyalty rewards. But in addition to that, they have the ability to join an extra special, an exclusive rewards program. And when they join that exclusive rewards program, it's going to ask them to save that into their wallet. And this is essentially what it looks like. So to activate the mobile wallet feature first, you have to do it from your client admin. You go to you find your client, you hit the little pencil in your client admin, and on the right-hand side, you'll see a button that says mobile wallet feature, and then you just want to activate it. And once you've done that, you're going to find the coupon or whatever it is that you're trying to push into the person's phone, and under mobile wallet here, you'll see on and off. It'll be off, and you'll want to turn it on. Now, sorry, taking a swig of water. Sometimes clients have had an issue activating this, and the reason is, if it doesn't activate for you, it could be the length of your coupon name or even your company name. So you want to check to make sure that your company name and your coupon name are not too long, because that could prevent it from launching properly, and we've noticed that on a couple of occasions. So just be mindful that if you hit on and you hit update and it doesn't actually turn on, that's most likely the case. So just take a look at your character length and make sure that you're not excessively long. Once you've turned it on, you can edit the pass details. Now, you can design this pass, so you hit edit pass, and you can come in here and you can change all the different elements. So you can change this logo here. You can change this background banner that you see here. And we've given you some stock graphics in the Google Drive that you can access. You can click here on the text label. You can click here on the description label and modify that. You can modify the colors. And then also you have the option of adding displaying a barcode or QR code. You don't have to use that part unless you're doing something very specific with scanning that barcode, then you can activate it. So you customize what that wallet pass looks like. And it's going to automatically be set to inactive, or sample. It's going to say sample. So to activate it, you have to switch it over to active. Okay, and then it goes live. Now, let's talk a little bit about, here's some analytics that shows you how many people have installed this, how many people have redeemed the offer, how many people have removed it. Now, redeemed is kind of tricky because in Android, it gives you an option to redeem the offer, but that doesn't get transmitted back to our system. So if somebody hits redeem, there's no communication back to our system to let us know that that coupon has been redeemed. And that'll kind of speak to why this is not a specific coupon, but more really just kind of a special rewards program. Same thing for the opposite approach, which is if somebody walks up to the kiosk and they type in their phone number and It shows them that they've earned this coupon, which they also have saved into their wallet. If they redeem it on the kiosk, that does not pull it from the wallet. Okay, so that coupon will still live in their wallet. And so you have to be very careful about, and I had a call yesterday with one of our licensees talking about the wallet, and you want to be very, very mindful of the fact that you don't want to deliver this coupon that can potentially be misused because somebody still has it on their wallet and they're showing their wallet when they walk into an establishment. So my recommendation is to have it not be a coupon, but have it be this kind of living, breathing, extra special rewards program. And the reason that it's living and breathing is because you can actually come in here and edit the pass, and when you make changes to the pass and you hit update, it updates on people's phones. So if I wanted to say, hey, new spring specials have arrived, come in and check our new spring gear, our new spring fashions, I can make that modification here, hit update pass, and everybody's phone will automatically update the wallet that they have, the pass that they have in their wallet. So it's a living, breathing thing. And that's why we're kind of pitching this, or positioning this, I should say, as an extra special rewards program. So that's the pass information. Now, you have the ability of adding locations, and you can have multiple locations. So in this example, M. Frederick, they have like 15 or 17 locations across California. We can add each of their addresses here with a notification that is sent when somebody's within a certain proximity. So this is the geofencing component. And basically what this does is if somebody has saved this coupon into their wallet, or I shouldn't say coupon, but if somebody has saved this thing into their wallet, whatever it is, and they're within 150 meters of this address that we have listed here, the system will automatically send them a push notification to their phone with this message when they're near the location. So if you think about this, it's actually really powerful because you can target somebody when they're close to the establishment. Now, it also allows you to be very strategic because it doesn't have to be a certain location. It can be any address. It can be the address of the biggest competitor. It could be the address of the off-ramp, right next to the off-ramp when people get off the highway. So you can be really strategic in how you select these addresses to be, it might not necessarily be the business address. It might be the address that's on the street corner nearby when people are coming by, depending on where that business is located. So just keep that in mind when you're creating your addresses. Now you can have, like I said, multiple locations for one account, and they can all have their different alerts that are configured. So that's the location geofencing component of the wallet, and I really feel that's where the true value is being able to target somebody when they're within a certain proximity. And then separate from that, you can send kind of a text blast. I call it a text blast, but it's not really a text blast. It's a push notification that's sent out. It's a push notice that's sent out on demand. So if it's it's going to be storming today, come in and get your 2-for-1 pizzas, or we have a slow Sunday, come in and get 20% off anything. You can actually send it out on demand through here. And this is not compatible with Android devices. It's only on iOS currently, but this is a nice feature as well. So, and then the sharing piece, I'm not sure to what extent people are going to be sharing this, because you are going to be incentivizing people to download this or to save it into their wallet from a text message. But you can incorporate some type of sharing aspect as well. Now, the geofencing component, it's approximately 150 meters, I should say. That has to do with geolocation and the way satellites triangulate the positioning of your phone. So it's not a setting. It's not a setting. It's not something that could be increased or decreased. It's kind of an approximate location. If you know, there's really a couple different ways to do geolocation. You can research it online. One involves triangulation between cell phone towers. So that's basically what it's doing. Is it's looking where you're at in proximity to the local cell phone towers, and it's trying to triangulate your position. And when you're within a certain proximity to the address, it triggers a message. So it's really outside of our control, and it's really something more that's built into the Android operating system. That is, a feature of the Android, iOS, and iOS operating systems. So on another question here on the push notifications, can it be set for multiple addresses at the same time? I believe the push notification is for everybody that has the wallet piece saved. It does not allow you to do it to a specific address. It's across the board. Okay. So just kind of to reiterate, we are still peeling back all the layers of the onion in terms of how this is used. And there's no wrong or right or wrong way to do it. It is still kind of left up to you to interpret the best approach. You just want to be very mindful of the fact that if you're going to do it on a coupon, you still want people to redeem that coupon on the kiosk, if that's what you're doing currently. And once they have redeemed it on the kiosk, there's nothing that actually pulls it out of their wallet. So this thing that they've saved to their wallet is still going to exist there. So that is going to kind of dictate how you implement this for your clients, because you are going to be very mindful of that and really kind of consider, okay, what's the best approach for doing this? And I definitely encourage you to look at the Vibes and the Urban Airship case studies to see some good examples of what they are doing. Question came in terms of at what point is a customer prompted to download the mobile pass? So the pass is on the widget. So if you are using the widget, or I should say you want to be using the widget for delivering the pass, when you deliver the coupon, it'll be right here. So right under the coupon description, it'll say, save to GPay. I think Android Pay is called GPay now, or save to Apple Pay, and then there'll be a button that you click, which then pushes it into your wallet. So it's right here on the coupon widget page. Really great technology, very much in its infancy. I think there's going to be tremendous potential for it, because it's not a custom app that we have built that we're like trying to get people to download, right? That's a lot more work to like try to say to people, hey, download our custom app and we can do all kinds of cool stuff. We're not doing that. We're basically, relying on the carriers. We're relying on Android and Apple to get this app adopted by consumers, by consumers. So it's really just a matter of time before more and more people start to embrace this technology. So we're really excited about it. We think we're way ahead of the curve in terms of adoption. So you want to start thinking about this technology now and really coming up with unique and innovative ways in terms of how your clients can use this. Is there a way to incentivize customers to download this? I don't know. Yeah. The way to do it is by making it an extra special rewards program and giving them something in that wallet when they first download it. So when they first save that whatever it is into their wallet, you can have some type of highly incentivized offer on that pass. So when it's in their Android Pay or their Apple Pay, they go to it and there's some great offer there. I think that's a great idea to get people to do it. Can this be used standalone, independently from a text loyalty? Can we use this for potential clients who may be using a competitor? It cannot be used standalone outside of our system, because we use this couponing system to deliver the option to save it into the wallet. So everything kind of goes hand in hand in terms of how you've kind of integrated into your offering. It's tied into your messaging, it's tied into your coupon and your widget. I'm not sure how this can exist independent of that. As far as costs, just to clarify costs, it's $25 for the first location. $25 for the first location. So if I am M. Frederick and I have one location, then it's $25. As soon as I add an additional location, it's $15 for additional location. This is per month. I'm sorry, I should clarify, per month. So $25 a month for the first location, $15 a month for additional locations, and that's per account. Now keep in mind, companies like Vibes and Urban Airship are charging thousands and thousands of dollars a month for the service. Now granted, they're working with national brands, things like that, but I think there's still tremendous markup opportunity there. And given that it's really the only component that has the geolocation and geofencing kind of built in, I think it represents enough of an opportunity for your clients that they're going to be willing to pay a premium for this type of service. But you're going to have to determine what that pricing is and how that pricing fits into your existing pricing model. Any time frame on this working with Android devices? So it does work with Android devices, just not the notifications, the one-off notifications, but the tool itself, the wallet tool, does work with Android devices. There's no, we're really at the mercy of Android and iOS in terms of what they do with their Apple Pay and Android Pay, respectively. So we don't control those technologies. Those technologies are controlled by those operating systems, and as they make modifications to it, they make modifications to it at the end of the day, and we have very little control over when or if they will start supporting those notifications on Android devices. I hope that helps, but we're really kind of nothing we can do about that. So I'm not understanding. So how would you set that up to have an incentive waiting for them after they download the pass? Well, you just put it on the pass. So you edit the pass, and this is your incentive right here. They're only going to see this once they've downloaded the pass. On Android, how does it manage whether it is GPay or Samsung Pay or Samsung Phone? So I think every phone is different in terms of which apps are built in, but I think the carriers are constantly changing. They went from Android Pay to GPay to Samsung. There's they keep consolidating their payment solutions, and I think most phones now, if you're using an outdated wallet app, it'll prompt you to download the latest version of the wallet app, and this is me thinking that's what happens. That I had a similar experience with my Android device. I was using Samsung Pay, and everything was kind of streamlined into Android Pay, and so it prompted me to download the newest version. But every phone might react differently, so you're just going to have to test it out. But essentially, this works on Android Pay and Apple Pay. Let me just scroll through real quick to make sure I didn't miss any questions. And then feel free, obviously, to ask any additional questions, or we can always connect after the fact. Progressive image upload calendar. So Todd asked about the image upload calendar for the slideshow. It's really not a calendar. It's just a start and end time frames for the calendar for the slideshows and those elements. So if you're on the Kiosk Slideshow and you want to set the start and end, you set it here. So you set it to run from April 17th through, let's say it's running through the end of the month. You just set the end date, and that's that. Let's see what else we have here. Attended their Urban Airship 101 webinar. They run good info. May have been Vibes who had a V-card use. Maybe good to have that for introducing business owners to the concept. Talked about the limitation, push notifications, the download, can this be standalone? Cost we've covered, time frame we've covered, incentive we covered. So if you've set the end date for this slide, the start and end date is for the slide. This particular slide that I clicked on, which is slide number 2. After it ends, slide number 2 will no longer display on this template. Okay, so the template is kind of ongoing. It's applied to the kiosk, but then your slides can be always on, in which case they just kind of live with the template, or they can have start and end dates and times, so they disable. I hope that helps. And then clarification on data entry by customer on the kiosk. We will have the option to have the progressive text entry fields go edge to edge and hide the slideshow. The answer to that is the messaging will go edge to edge. The fields, I'm not sure if this will take over the entire screen or if just the messaging after will take over the entire screen. But we're going to revisit that, and we're going to talk about the full screen keyboard. I think it makes sense to overtake the entire screen and go full screen on the messaging and the engagement on the kiosk. So that is, I think, more of a phase 2. Once we have the slideshow going, we'll start working out all the kinks with the kiosk layout and design. So I hope this was informative for everybody. Like I said, I'm available to answer questions offline and after the fact. Thank you again for your time today. We'll post this recording in the Reseller portal and the Google Drive. And thank you again. I look forward to speaking to you all soon. Thanks for your time.